Hey City Beat, it's music journalist Media Maya, and today I am here with Cincinnati's own DJ and radio personality, Miss Nella D. How are you?
Hey, girl.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for inviting me to the platform. I appreciate it.
Of course, it was, thank you for coming, getting to step away from all of your platforms and work.
Yes, it's a lot going on these days. It's a lot.
I seen with Nella at Night coming on the wheels,
Yes.
and the 411,
Mm-hmm.
and just busy in the kitchen, freestyles.
Yes, we live from the kitchen. We at 401 UnCut. I'm on the radio 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, doing that at night, 8 to midnight, and on Saturdays from 7 to 10 as well. So I'm literally on the radio literally every day.
Okay, so let's start with, for those who don't know, who is Nella D, and what was it like for you growing up in Cincinnati?
Yeah, so Nella D, I'm a on-air personality. I'm a DJ. I'm a blogger. I'm a CEO of my own platform for One Uncut, and amongst a lot of other things. But yeah, growing up in Cincinnati was fun for me. You know, my family, they're from downtown to West End.
Mm-hmm.
My mom moved out of there when I was super young, and she moved to the Mount Healthy area, so that's where I went to school and
Okay.
grew up at, played outside, went to Mount Healthy High School, graduated from Mount Healthy High School, but definitely remember too being downtown with my family and in the Lincoln Courts and, you know, having some fun down there too.
So I know you've been tapped into the music industry and outlet for a while. How long exactly have you been involved in like music in Cincinnati, or like the entertainment industry as a whole, I should say?
Right. So I had got my start. I went to media school in, I'm going to say 2011.
Okay.
I went to the Ohio Media School. That's where I actually got my start in media. That was my introduction to media. I went there. It was a program for just like 8, 9 months, and graduated. I interned at the radio station while I was there, and ended up getting hired back in 2013. I started off on a street team at the radio station. I was driving the truck, putting up the tents and setting up for all the bigger people that was already on air and stuff. But I was learning. I was sitting back watching. So I want to say I really started getting it, everything going like 2013 when I got hired at the radio station. I was in promotions and I started dibbling, dabbling, doing interviews with artists from, even though I wasn't on air yet. But I'm like, look, I'm still going to figure out how to get my way up in here. And in 2015, I started my podcast, 401 UnCut.
Yeah, in this industry, you got to, literally.
Yeah, you got to.
So, as a DJ and radio personality, how did you get involved with hip hop specifically?
Okay, so I mean, I'm hip hop. Like I've always been a girl that, as a kid, I was the kid that had every Word Up magazine, Right On magazine, every issue. I was really into your Bow Wows and B2Ks and Destiny's Childs. I was that kid, so I would have posters all over my wall. I was always into hip hop. I was watching 106 & Park every day. I would record videos. I would make my own mixtapes. You know, back in the day, you used to have a CD. You could make your own mixtapes, or like I was that type of kid.
So music is really just like a passion project.
Yes, and on top of that, I was a part of dance teams and things like that here in the city. So I was always into dance. Dance was my favorite thing. That's really what got me. I used to watch all the videos and learn the dance moves. You know, like, okay, a Leon, let me learn that dance routine off of Aaliyah. Oh, Usher video, I'm gonna learn that dance routine. Okay, me and my cousins, that's what we would do. We make up dances and all of that. So dance was my first thing. That's why I still like, if you see my TikTok,
I was just about to say, I can believe it, because if you follow Nella D on any platform, she gonna dance. If you see her outside, she gonna be dancing.
I'm gonna be dancing. So that was really what made me love hip hop first, was just like dance. I love to dance. I like seeing how people were just in the background of it. I'm like, I want to be a backup dancer. That's what I thought when I was little. Like, and I was like, I want to be a choreographer. Like, I was really into dance.
Yeah.
And so I would say that probably was my real introduction to hip hop.
That's dope. Okay. So I gotta ask you,
okay,
how does it feel to be the source for Black culture and music in Cincinnati?
Oh, I am?
Yeah. Girl. I am? Listen.
Wow.
Everybody is going to, if you're looking for anything hip hop, rap, R&B, anything in the mix with our culture, our
Facts.
music, they run into 411 Uncut easy.
It feel good because it's what I wanted. Like it was a promise that I had made to myself, and somewhat like with God. Like I really wanted a career in radio, like really bad. And I said, you know what? I know that it's other artists because I would go out to the clubs here in Cincinnati and party, and I would see how they would like want their opportunities too, you know, to get on the radio. That was their dreams too. So I had said like, you know what, if God ever blessed me with the opportunity to really live out my career, I'm gonna always use it to push the culture here in Cincinnati. Yeah. I'm gonna always use it to push everything forward because somebody got a dream just like me. It's a little girl, it's a little boy who, man, I want to be on the radio one day and this and that. Okay, well. Okay, like it's important to push that forward in any type of way. And of course, it's different now. You know, now as people want to have their own platforms and things like that, right? Because things change. But regardless, if I have people, grandmas, be like, you Nella D, you put my son on the radio, you put my granddaughter on the radio. Like that's a different feeling that, you know, and it's an accomplishment that a lot of people are trying to get to. And then you be amazed, like, you know, artists, I was working with artists like Skylar Blatt in the beginning, and look at her now. She got records with Chris Brown, and, you know, she's doing her thing. Skylar, like, beast. And it's important to have somebody here in the market of Cincinnati that's highlighting what's going on and be that liaison, because guess what? By giving people those opportunities, you don't know where they can take it. You give somebody an opportunity, they're going to keep going and keep them going. You know, you get these accolades under your belt. Okay, I got this song on the radio, that one, and, you know, they talking about me. I'm getting my interviews. We have a culture here now where you can get your interviews, you can get on the radio, and get your performances, you know, like other bigger cities. We a big city too. Yeah, we may be a little smaller, but we are really we're a city. Yeah.
And there's so much history in Cincinnati within like the music industry. Like, come on, King Records, Bootsy Collins, the Isley Brothers.
Yes, like, it's a lot. Yes. L.A. Reid, he's from here. Yeah. It's a lot of like, yes. So we got to put the eyes on it, and you'll be amazed to see like how far to go if everybody keeps backing it up and keeps supporting the platform, supporting the artists. It's important.
Yes. Well, let me just give you your flowers because, girl, you're doing it. Okay.
I'm trying, girl. It's hard, but but you got people that's, you know, you can't please everybody. I'm only one person. It ain't like I got a whole bunch of people I can call and be like, yeah, like, can you help this person? Why? Because it's only one Nella D. It's only one 411 Uncut. So, but I do it as best as I can. You know, I try to make my way around as much as I can. It's hard though.
Yeah. How long have you been with The Wiz? And I know you just said that you kind of like always wanted to be in radio or a radio personality. Yeah. So was it a specific radio show or something that kind of like influenced that, or that you listened to growing up that you was like, ooh, I want to do that?
So I got in 2013. I just celebrated my 11th year in radio in 2024. Thank you. Yeah, 11. I said this got to be a good one. 11. Like, yeah, like this got to be a good time. But like Don Juan for sure was really the guy that, like, him and this guy named Big Greg. Growing up, I would stay by the radio. I would listen at night. I would win tickets from them. As a kid, I would just call in and shout out my cousins. Like, hey, cuz, I just gave you a shout out. They about to play it back. Like, I want to give a shout out. And just seeing, like, how they impacted the community. And then I end up actually now, I'm so blessed that I work with Don Juan now. Don Juan was able to teach me a lot in my early, you know, even still now, I can still call him. He's still that's my brother. I can say, Don Juan for sure. You know, what about this? I need some advice. He's going to tell me what to do, how to do it, you know what I mean? So watching Don Juan and how he was just so engaging, and how he went from the schools to the club and to the radio, and how he just knew how to connect with people and make people feel, you know, important and loved. Yeah. I paid attention to that, and I was like, you know what? I gotta make sure I do that too. So I'm honored that I'm doing a night show now. You know, I was his intern and watching him do nights, and he was teaching me how to run his board. This is back in 2014 and things like that. So now that we fast forward 11 years later, and I got the opportunity to have my own night show in my city, it's like a full circle moment. Yeah.
So what influenced you to start your blog 411 Uncut and to do the live from the kitchen interviews? Yeah. Like Where did this idea come from, Nella?
So 411 Uncut was born because I was like, look, on the radio, I'm the girl with the 411, right? And of course, we know on radio it's clean cut, you know, and it was only so much I was allowed to do too, because I was still the youngin, you know. I wasn't getting big opportunities yet or certain things, but that didn't mean I still wasn't gonna create something for myself. So I stepped outside and said, you know what, I need to create me a digital brand as well that could be just as big as my brand with radio. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna start it off as a podcast. It was actually called the 411 Uncut Podcast. That's how I started off. So I started off interviewing major rappers here in the city, highlighting different things like that. So after a while, I ended up turning it into a blog because it was podcasting is so hard. And it costs. It costs a lot. And at the time, I'm like, I can't afford to keep doing this. I don't know how to get sponsorships and things like that. So I decided to turn it into a blog, and because I already was delivering news and gossip on the platform anyway. Because I said, you know what? Yeah, I'm doing a podcast, but I only do a podcast 2 episodes a month, right? But how am I gonna keep this audience engaged within the meantime? So I said, I'm the gossip girl. I'm the girl with the 411. Will deliver the daily news like how the Shade Room, TMZ do on the platform as well in between time. So when I stopped podcasting, that's all I did was just flooding it with just the content, viral content. And it was picking up. A lot of people, other blogs would take our posts and things like that. Like we've been featured on Academic, Say Cheese, The Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked, Neighborhood Talk, all these other bigger blogs that's got millions of followers. They were coming to us because we was getting the tea first. Like, hey, such and such, you know, Soulja Boy just went off or anything like that. So it started really growing from that. So during the pandemic, I decided to start back doing interviews. So IG Live, everybody was on IG Live in the pandemic. So I started getting bigger opportunities with new artists that was signed to Gucci Mane's label and Fredo Bangs, different people were on IG Live. I was getting Zoom interviews. So it started really picking back up. And I decided, like, you know what? It's time to get my interviews back going in the city. So I started doing in-person interviews again. And then just recently, at the end of 2023, we launched Live from the Kitchen. Me and my boyfriend actually brewed that idea together. We were sitting down because he does my camera work. And we were sitting down at brunch one day, and then I was like, I need a performance segment for 411 Uncut. We got to do something with the hanging mic. And he was like, okay, let's figure something out. My dad owns the restaurant in Lincoln Heights called Good Things Cooking. And that's where we shoot it at. So he's like, we got the kitchen. We can help promote his restaurant.
Right.
Plus bring artists in there. It's different. It's our own set. Nobody can steal it. Nobody can take it. This our set. So we started doing it, and it's took off. I didn't know it was gonna be this big of a deal, but we got artists coming from Detroit, all around the Midwest, St. Louis, other parts of Ohio, Cleveland, Dayton, Columbus. Like,
because I love me Live from the Kitchen.
Okay, like it's so lit. Like, and the artists love it. They have so much fun. They get a meal at the end of it. My dad is actually back there cooking them up a meal while they're rapping. So at the end of every video, if you watch it on the 411 Uncut YouTube channel, he serve them a meal at the end because he's really cooking up. They Live from the Kitchen.
Wow.
It's lit.
It's lit.
It's lit.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and talk to me, Nella D. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
City Beat, it's Media Maya. Until next time.